Hey Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now, and today let's go and get to the Eagles news and rumors of the week as injuries continue to pile up and pile up and pile up. And guess what? Miles Sanders is now injured. Yay! Let's go ahead and break that down. You probably saw this happen a couple of days ago, but we have a little bit more news and insight on what's going on with Sanders. So it's a lower body injury is what they're saying, which is a little bit annoying because it's like lower body, right? Let's do them at half your body. It could be a knee, it could be a hamstring, it could be a calf, it could be an ankle, it could be a foot. A lot of injuries it could potentially be. They say it's not serious, but at the same time, I've also read it could be serious. So it's very weird right now in terms of what's going on with Miles Sanders. The big news is they expect him to be ready to go for week 1. This could just be a precaution, like they don't just want to get him injured in preseason because they know how important it is to get him ready to go for the start of the actual NFL season. Or this could be something that we really have to start worrying about and monitoring because it could be a long-term injury that is nagging and just lags on the entire length of the NFL season. One thing we do know, the Eagles cannot afford to lose Miles Sanders. And I know they signed Corey Clement and Boston Scott. They cannot afford at all to lose Miles Sanders. He's going to be, in my opinion, the most important offensive weapon, the biggest part of the Eagles offense in 2020. And everyone keeps saying he's going to have an absolutely monster year. And so with that being said, I'm just a little bit worried about it right now. And I want to start to show off with that. Now, Deuce Staley, obviously the Eagles running back coach and assistant head coach, said this just yesterday about Miles Sanders when he said, quote, his mental focus right now is unbelievable. Just being able to understand the concepts and what we're trying to do as an offense with him and other players, and with his skill level, being able to match him up with safeties and linebackers. It's just Miles understanding the game a little bit better, being able to know what to study, what to look for, and now he's going out and playing faster in year 2. Now, obviously, he's not playing faster right now because he is injured. Some people are going to sit here and say, Thomas, listen, not a big deal. The Eagles have the offensive weapons in terms of wide receivers and tight ends. The running game is not that important, but we broke it down. It is. It's extremely important. Just like a month ago, when the Eagles ran the ball for 30-plus times in a game, they won. When they ran for less than 30 times, they lost every single game last year. And sure, you have Boston Scott and Corey Clement and even Elijah Holyfield, who's turned a lot of heads so far in training camp and looks like he's a lock to be the number 4 running back. You just miss out on the skill and big play ability when losing Miles Sanders. Again, there's no indication this is going to be a long-term thing. But because they aren't telling us and giving us specifics like, oh, it's just a little ankle tweak or, oh, it's just like a calf strain. Sometimes they would just let you know what the injury is, and the fact they say lower body to me is a little bit concerning, and I'm worried about Miles Sanders. Again, they expect him to be ready for week 1 against Washington. Sanders torched Washington during the last couple of weeks of the NFL season, whatever it was, week 15, 16, whenever the Washington game was. Miles Sanders was absolutely fantastic. They need him out there, and so the hope is he's going to be good to go at some point this offseason, or some point during the training camp, and ready to go, hopefully, for week 1. All right, is Miles Sanders the most important offensive weapon on the Philadelphia Eagles? If you agree with me, type Y down below for yes. If you don't, type N down below for no. There'll be a pinned comment down below here. You'll see it's at the top comment left by Philadelphia Eagles Now. Answer it with your own comment in terms of Miles Sanders' important factor in the Eagles offense. Y for yes, N for no. Okay, moving on. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was... let's just say disappointment last year, right? You remember the Eagles drafted J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and he was supposed to be the Alshon Jeffrey replacement and this jump ball phenom and just, be the big possession target receiver the Eagles have been looking for with all the injuries happening to Alshon Jeffrey, and yet he did absolutely nothing. He struggled immensely in year 1. And now entering year 2, coaches and even himself are expecting big things from J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Some really good quotes about J.J. and where he feels in terms of where he is at this year. He feels like the forgotten wide receiver, and hopefully he can find himself and play a lot better. Before we do that, though, be sure to subscribe to Philadelphia Eagles Now because we do this kind of camp coverage every single day almost here on the channel. The more subscriptions we get, the more videos we can go ahead and put out. And we got mailbag videos coming up this weekend answering your guys' questions. So if you're subscribed, you'll stay tuned for that as well. Here was JJ talking to the media via Zoom, as they always do, just the other day saying, quote, around this time last year, I was trying to learn all the plays. Learn how they got done. Try to find chemistry with Carson. Learn how everything works in the NFL. Second time around, I hate to say that I know all the plays because there's going to be a day or two where I have a mental error, but I'm pretty confident in the plays. I don't go into practice with a script in my hand trying to memorize the plays that I have. I'm just like, I'm in a huddle and you call the play. I know what I got to do. You got to remember, this was a guy who was a higher draft pick and was supposed to be a big impact in year 1. And it goes all the way back to what I keep trying to preach to people. Year 1 for a rookie is really hard. There are some rookies that can figure it out, but there are some positions like wide receiver and positions like even defensive end that struggle in year one because the gap between playing against, college cornerbacks and college offensive linemen versus true starting cornerbacks and true starting O-linemen is massive. And plus, most wide receivers barely can run a full NFL route tree. They got to learn how to do that. It's like learning to ride a bike all over again. So it's no wonder that Whiteside struggled early. He has been a starting wide receiver so far in training camp. He has looked very, very good. And the question is, can he continue to improve on what, again, everyone is saying has been a very strong overall training camp? The hope is absolutely yes, because if he doesn't, there are a lot of Eagles on the wide receiver depth chart you see right now that are going to take his spot. John Hightower is there, Quez Watkins is there, Jalen Reagor is there, Greg Ward from last year, he's obviously there as well. They have a lot of bodies they're going to try to fit into the Eagles offensive system, and whoever performs best and has the best chemistry with Carson Wentz is probably going to get the nod and the most amount of playing time. So it's exciting to hear how excited Whiteside is about the year. I think he's going to have a good year overall, but he better, right? Or else he's going to be going further and further back in the depth chart, and the further you go, the less playing time you get, and then, your career just doesn't go off from there. Who have a better 2020? Let me know what you guys think. I think these are the two you kind of pair together, JJ Arcega-Whiteside and Greg Ward. Who will have a better 2020? Type J down below for JJ. Type G down below for Greg Ward in the comments section. And while we're at it, go ahead and click on our Eagles face mask cover link at chatsports.com/Eagles mask to go ahead and pick up your favorite Eagles mask gear right now. That way you guys can stay safe and rep the Eagles wherever you go, because mask mandates and grocery stores and wherever you go, they're going to be there for a while. So you might as well rep the Eagles instead of just little disposable masks that, of course, you can just get for free, which just doesn't look as good. And to me, it's just a little bit more annoying to wear. These Eagles masks are fantastic. I highly encourage you guys to go ahead and grab one. Link, as always, is down below in the description box. Final bit of news here. One more update on the Eagles' D-line problems, because they've been having D-line injury problems, and Derek Barnett is obviously one of the Eagle players that's having problems. And you throw in Javon Hargrave with his pec strain, and it's like, oh my goodness, how many more injuries can the Eagles have? Well, we have some new updates in terms of the fact that both are expected to go week one, which is very good news. That both are expected. A couple of days ago we talked about this, and it was like, ooh, will Hargrave be ready to go for week one? It looks like both are going to be ready to go for week one, and that is fantastic news for Eagle fans. Listen, the injury bug better stay away. The injury bug has got to stay away from Philadelphia. It's been too long, too many years, back to back. So many injuries the past couple of seasons. People are worried already, but it looks like these are going to go ahead and be good to go at least for the foreseeable future. Bleeding Green Nation has a great write-up on this right now. They said, quote, "The Eagles officially described Barnett's status as week to week due to a lower body injury. Rappaport reveals that Barnett is specifically dealing with an ankle issue, which is not good. It's perhaps worth knowing that Barnett missed 2 games in December last year with an ankle injury, but it's unclear if it's the same one. As for Hargrave, it was encouraging to see him post on Instagram. He's good and ready for the season after suffering a pectoral strain." We went into the details on these, a couple days ago here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Again, the pec strain, we didn't know what Barnett's injury was. The fact we know it's an ankle is important to note right now, but you add it to the list. It's a growing list of injured Eagles who have been missing practice the past couple of days. Miles Sanders, Dallas Goedert, Boston Scott now has a lower body injury apparently, Derek Barnett and Javon Hargrave. But the good news is there have been no season-ending or extremely lengthy injuries that have happened so far at training camp. Knock on wood, right? Fingers crossed. Hopefully we're okay, right? But so far the Eagles have had minor injuries, and I think they're doing more precautionary things versus just putting people out there and letting them figure things out, because you'd rather him be injured. You would rather a player get injured in an actual game than get injured in practice. Obviously injuries are bad overall, but you would rather someone get injured in a game versus an actual practice, and that's where the Eagles are at right now. Barnett, of course, is a big factor in the Eagles' pass rush. He's going to obviously be counted upon to be one of the starters on the defensive end side of the football, but there are some guys behind him who are going to try to, compete for playing time, especially if Barnett were to, for some reason, miss an extended period of time. They went out and signed Vinny Curry, who always has an impact to teams on the defensive line side, regardless of his stats, and then a guy like Josh Sweat, who didn't get a lot of snaps last year, but still had like 4 sacks and played very, very well. He's going to have a massive opportunity, especially right now in training camp with Derek Barnett out, to go ahead and make some plays and hopefully get back out onto the football field. Really, play up to the level that people expected him to play at with his very good seasons over there at Florida State. So there's the latest Eagle news. I just wanted to make sure you guys are updated on all these injury things. You can see injury news all over Twitter, and people are all speculating. This is the truth here. As we always dive in, I do my research. That's why we are Me the Best Eagle Show here on YouTube. We do our research. We break it all down. So you got Sanders, you got all the rest of these guys should be good to go for week 1, and that's the big hope right now in Philadelphia. All the time we have for today here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Again, be sure to subscribe because we have a mailbag video It'll either be tomorrow or Sunday. Obviously, today's Friday on the day of filming this video, but Saturday or Sunday are normally when the mailbag videos come out. So be on the lookout for those, because if you are, if you asked a question earlier, maybe it'll be answered on that mailbag video. So stay tuned for that. All the time we have for today here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. I am Thomas Mott, your host and fearless leader, signing off. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.